The galaxy didn't fall silent when the war turned against us, it screamed. World after world sent desperate signals, their voices trembling through the void. We're losing. We can't hold them, and the enemy? A species so advanced, so impossibly relentless, that every Alliance fleet looked like toy ships against a tidal wave. Everyone thought defeat was inevitable. Everyone except the humans who answered the panic of an entire galaxy with something unthinkable. A single warship. And that's where the story truly begins. Before we dive deeper, do me a quick favor if you love bold sci-fi twists, HFY moments, and the kind of stories that make you whisper, "No way," hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a dose of cosmic adrenaline today. It helps the channel grow, and it tells me you want more stories where humanity refuses to back down. The first signs of collapse didn't look dramatic at all. They were quiet, too quiet. A missing patrol here, a broken relay there, a star system going dark without even a distress call. At first, the Alliance chalked it up to cosmic accidents. Happens all the time, right? Space is huge, unpredictable. But then the disappearances began stacking like dominoes, each one falling faster than the last. Commanders across the galaxy watched their tactical maps shift from colorful and stable to jagged, flickering red. Entire fleets were being erased in minutes. Not defeated. Erased. It was as if something out there hunted with surgical precision, dismantling every defense line before anyone even understood what they were fighting. Panic spread not as shouts but as heavy silence. The kind that settles into a war room when every officer realizes the numbers don't add up in their favor. Reports coming in from the outer sectors felt like the same message written by different hands. We can't stop them. We're losing everything, and in that moment, when even the bravest species felt their hope thinning, one terrifying question echoed across the Alliance. If every fleet is failing, who's left to save us? For most of the war, Earth had stayed strangely quiet. Not absent, just observing. While other species screamed for reinforcements, humanity listened. While admirals panicked, humans ran calculations. And when the Alliance finally demanded an explanation why Earth hadn't deployed a single ship, humanity responded with a message so calm it bordered on unsettling. We will intervene now. No grand speech, no frantic broadcast. Just those 4 words. Alliance councils erupted. Intervene with what? Humanity's fleets were small compared to the great armadas of the core races. Even the friendliest species muttered doubts. Behind closed doors, diplomats whispered, "Humans don't understand the scale of this war." But then the transmission continued. "We will send 1 warship. A single vessel." The declaration hit the war rooms like a glitch in reality. Was this confidence? Arrogance? Or something far more concerning? Across dozens of Alliance hubs, the same thought sparked. Why would a species that knows the enemy's power send only 1 ship unless they knew something the rest of us didn't? And as humanity prepared their mysterious intervention, every species found themselves watching Earth with attention they couldn't quite name. Because silence can be frightening, but human silence? That was something else entirely. The first glimpse of the human warship didn't come with fanfare, no escort fleet. No atmospheric ripple of engines roaring to life. It simply appeared sliding out of folded space like a shadow deciding to become real. Every sensor in the nearby system spiked. The ship was enormous, but not in the cumbersome, battleship way the Alliance expected. Its shape was clean, deliberate, almost predatory. Hull plates moved like living armor. Energy signatures fluctuated in patterns no analyst could decipher. Engineers stared at the readings and muttered things that made their commanders nervous. That's impossible physics. This shouldn't fly. This shouldn't even exist. Whispers spread fast. Where had humanity built this thing? How long had they been hiding it? And what kind of threat were they preparing for before this war even began? Some believed it was a relic. Others thought it was a prototype. A few wondered quietly if humans had help from something older, something not entirely human. But the most unsettling part wasn't its size or its power. It was the silence. The ship transmitted no name, no registry, no call sign. As if the humans didn't want the galaxy to know what they were truly unleashing. Or worse, as if the ship had a name, but speaking it would change everything. The enemy arrived first in overwhelming swarm that blotted out the stars. Their ships moved like a single organism, flowing and folding through space with terrifying coordination. Alliance observers braced for another slaughter. They'd seen this pattern too many times. The enemy appears, defenses crumble, another system lost. But this time, a lone silhouette stood in their way. The human warship drifted forward, slow and calm, like it had all the time in the universe. No panicked maneuvers, no warning shots. Just a quiet, steady advance into the heart of the oncoming storm. The enemy reacted instantly. Hundreds of vessels peeled off, rushing toward the intruder with predatory confidence. Then every sensor in the region flatlined for a fraction of a second. When the data returned, the battlefield had changed. Enemy ships weren't exploding, they weren't drifting, they were simply gone. Wiped from existence, as if reality itself refused to remember them. Observers stared at the empty space where an entire wing had been seconds before. What weapon does that? Someone whispered, but even that shock wasn't the worst part. The human ship had not fired a single visible shot. It just kept moving, silent and steady, forcing every watching species to ask the same unsettling question. If this is what it does to the enemy, what is it capable of against us? When the battlefield finally settled, the Alliance fleets expected debris, radiation spikes, something to mark the destruction of the enemy. But space was calm, too calm. The human warship drifted alone in the quiet, its hull still pulsing with that strange, living shimmer. It hadn't just won the battle, it had rewritten it. Alliance commanders demanded an explanation. Humanity offered only a single line: the threat is neutralized. You are safe now. No celebration, no boasting. Just that same unsettling calm. But safety wasn't the only thing spreading through the galaxy. It was suspicion mixed with awe. Species that once viewed humans as the younger race now examined them with a different lens, realizing there were entire layers to humanity no one had ever understood. Where did they get that technology? How long had they been preparing it? And perhaps the most frightening question, preparing it for whom? Then a final message came from Earth, almost like an afterthought. We built the ship for a different enemy. One that hasn't arrived yet. Silence fell across every council chamber. Because if the humans needed that to face whatever was coming, what future threat could terrify even them?